Are you living in Australia? Are you looking at investing your money in your super into property or thinking about how you can get a better bang for your money, better return for the money that you accumulate in your super fund? You may already have a super fund, or you're thinking about setting up a self-managed super fund and you want more money so you can retire with income and wealth far greater than the way it's currently looking if you stay on this path that you're currently on with standard employee super fund returns. Let's have a look at the cost of waiting. I'm writing this guide, by the way. If you want a copy of it, send me an email and I'll get you the instructions as to how you can grab yourself a copy of this guide that's going to make it really simple to understand how you can build income and wealth using a self-managed super fund property investment. But we'll get to that later. Let's look at the cost of waiting. And I know this is an itchy topic because people love looking at jumping cats on a treadmill on social media. But when we get to talk about money, it's like, oh, I'll get to it later. And what does everyone think about most days? Money. What do people not want to think about most days? Is money. But look, I want to let you know it's really simple when you understand what to do. And this is something that I really like doing, which is the numbers. I know, go figure, but it's something I love to do. And I really love helping people understand what they can do to get a better result, because I've made some really silly mistakes with money. And it's a real passion for me to help people get the truth about what they can do to build more wealth, build more retirement income. And I want to share these figures with you real quick. Okay, so what do we want? What are we looking at here? We're looking at what someone has got to work with right now from a super and income perspective and what they want to achieve in retirement. So they've got some money coming in and they're sleeping at night because they're not worried about whether they can buy a coffee or not, because they're not going to have enough with their standard employee super fund if they keep going that path, unless they've got plenty in there already and it doesn't really matter. But for those who this is relevant to, you'll know if you're this person. So let's have a look at the numbers and then the cost of waiting. So don't wait. Retirement income. These guys, they want $100,000 as a retirement income coming into them that gets paid every year so they can live off that and have a really nice retirement. They want to have a property asset worth in their super fund or in retirement of at least $1 million. They're looking at about 15 years as a time frame, and they currently have access to $200,000. Now that is currently sitting in a standard employee super fund, and their annual income is $180K per year. Yeah. And they've got their standard employee contribution, which is 11%. And they've been talking to us about what they can do to achieve these goals. So we went through and we did some comparisons and we said, all right, if you keep your $200,000 in a standard employee super fund, in 15 years, working on average super fund returns, real returns, not just what is in prospectus returns, but real returns after costs, they're looking at about $670,000 in 15 years. Yep. If they bite the bullet and they are willing to go and set up a super fund, we can do that, but have a super fund, they go use some of their money to go buy a property worth $550,000. They will kick this journey off with $29,000 to kick off rental income. But in 15 years, with working on an 8% average capital growth of the property and a 7% average growth of rental income, they will be sitting on an asset worth $1.7 million in 15 years. Rental income that they wanted to hit, which would be $88,000, still a nice result, right? $88,000 rent coming in from that property, and in 18 years they'll own this property outright. Yeah. Now, let's look at something else here. In 15 years, with that being worth that much, if they wait 1 year from today and they only have 14 years, they will miss out on 128,000 growth. Yeah, the waiting, which is, my partner's not quite on the same page. And we're really stressed at work at the moment. And, I'll just wait until the kids are back at school, or we've got that thing to sort out the back gates, taking up my weekends. And I'm really not quite ready to do this yet. I know I'm being a bit cheeky here, right? But this is what the mind does. And this is what the cost is. I know it's overwhelming to start for some, but this is the cost. Then, if they wait 2 years, 248,000 missed in capital growth on the property. And then if they wait 3 years, 359,000, right? That's your standard property growth that people are missing out on because they're waiting because of these mindset fear, right? So don't let that happen. Let's leave this on a more positive note. The power of how property goes up in value and rent goes up in value. Look at this. If we move that to 16 years, we've now got a $1.8 million property and income. And check this out. 19 years, boom, boom, we're over the 100,000 rental income goal, 116,000, right? How's that compared to, oh my God. So I'm not saying don't have some money in a fund, but if you've got some money and you're thinking about what you could do to get a better return, to have that more comfortable, lovely and retirement income, not something going down on an annuity, but something that you can live off, rental income and an asset that's going up in value, property going up in value, rent going up in value, even if these numbers are a bit off, far better than something that you got this little bit of money to go down, but you're willing to do the work now to set it up now so you can have the freedom and enjoyment later. It's worth it. If this resonates with you, if you're someone that wants to know how to do this, let's have a chat, reach out. We can run the numbers and we can see. And if it does work for you, then we can get the accountant, yours or ours, to get things going. We'll get you a copy of this guide, which goes through all the detail of the tax and the other stuff. But in real simple terms, let's make your retirement really nice. And when you do, what will you do to celebrate? How will you feel? Where will you go? You can do this. It's easy. We'll show you how. Reach out. Let's talk.